Warning. This video is not supposed to be an insult or parody. It is meant as a tribute to a YouTube channel I've been a fan of for years, even if my version seems inferior. If you dislike the video, I suggest you go watch my favorite video they made from the link in the description below. Please try to enjoy this. Thank you.
People usually say it's a good thing to go back to the past to look at the things that you've done wrong before so you can learn from them. Yeah, just not with this movie. Just don't even bother. The Danish destruction. So the Danish destruction itself centers around 4 dudes living together, and one of them is turning into a brony all of a sudden. A brony is a grown man to watch My Little Pony. I mean, I'm not judging, I'm just saying that they exist. But the 3 other guys are not having it, so they're trying to convert this guy back into a real human because they think he's too gay as a brony. Dude, I'm not writing this shit, I'm just calling it as I see it. Let's start with the essentials. This movie is a drag to go through. I mean, it's not really a movie, it's a series in 12 episodes, but it is a fucking drag. I mean, you can get away with a lot of stuff with decent editing, but when it comes to bad camera, bad acting, and bad sound, it's just... you're not having a good time, are you? And on top of all that, some of these scenes are so cringy that I just wanted to go and watch the cartoon itself. I mean, I'm a grown-ass man, but it's still less cringy to watch that show than to watch this piece of shit. There's, for an example, this scene where this guy shoots this brony with a dart gun, and afterwards sort of forget why they did it, only to realize later that episode 2 is somehow part of episode 1. If that makes any sort of sense to you, write me a comment, because I don't fucking get it. So as far as I've gathered, there's this part where one of the guys has made sort of a pony blogger, which I think does sort of a thing where you can't watch pony content on his computer, which is a decent plan if you didn't realize that smartphones exist. Anyway, so there's this stupid part where he goes into the computer and disables this system without much resistance from the computer itself, which basically means when you think about it, the first 4 episodes are kind of pointless. So you're looking at your watch thinking, well, I just wasted 10 minutes of my life. But nope, it turns out to just be the beginning. Brilliant. So they lock him inside the toilet and shows him some pony porn to convert him back into a real human. Again, don't ask me how or why. So the main guy stops being a brony, but one of the guys who have been researching this phenomenon and how to convert him back has somehow absorbed so much of the culture that he turned into a brony himself. And now we have a new problem on our hands. So they're trying to find a way to convert this other guy back into a human, which is kind of stupid because if they just converted this main guy, why don't they just use the same method? And I guess the answer is don't think about it. So this panda looking dude finds one of the main guy's old figures and cuts off its head, which for some reason turns him into that pony but in another realm, and it's because it's linked to bullshit. How are we as an audience supposed to follow the story if the story itself can't follow its own story? I'm just saying. Anyway, it leads to them all being converted into bronies so they can all take this weird form of a pony and fight each other in virtual reality or something. And at the ending of all this, it turns out to be a dream. Yeah, I'm fucking serious. They just used the oldest plot twist in a book to get out of a writer's cramp. You know, writer's cramp, it's when a writer, he's writing down like, and then this guy dies and then, wait, it doesn't make sense to the story. It was all a dream. You know, the Super Mario 2 of storytelling. But maybe it was not a dream, but it happened at the same time. It's just double plot twist. It's a classic Shyamalan plot twist, and not one of the good ones. I mean, not like those exist or anything. Guys, this series was a waste of time. Luckily, this series didn't cost any money, but it sure as hell made this guy some ad revenue in the process of you watching this. By the way, here's a little tip to the creator of the Danish destruction itself. When you get that ad revenue money someday, go buy a camera. And not a Nokia phone from the 90s like it looks like you were using at the time. Guys, this series as a whole was bad, was confusing, and you will not remember it in T-minus 10 minutes. Yep, already forgot. So what did you think of the series and what is the worst fanfic you've ever seen in your entire life? Whatever it is, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you see here and you wanna see more, click right here to see more.